You're locked in with the Innovators. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. What's going on? You locked in with the Innovators YouTube. You already know I got the best interviews right here, man. I got the one and only Juice in the building, man. What's going on?
You already know, man. Salute, man. You know what I mean? What's happening with Innovators, man? Talk to me. Somebody. Sheesh.
First, I want to say it's a pleasure and a blessing to have you here. I appreciate you coming through today for sure. Your setup look nice. I'm rocking with it for sure.
Yeah, man. Views from the penthouse, man. It's, views from the penthouse, man. But yeah, it's definitely a blessing, man. I'm glad you reached out to me, man. When I had first came home before Kafani had failed, he was supposed to tap in with you and get you to tap in with me because I had just beat my case and came home. And so, but he ended up, taking he ended up going to college for a while. So, it's a blessing to be here and talk to you, real talk.
No, for sure. I appreciate you. You feel me? Legendary, man. A lot of legendary things, man, for sure.
Come on, man.
Just to get into it, let the people know where you're from and where they can find you on social media.
I'm from the Bay. I'm from Frisco, Hunters Point. You know what I'm saying? By way of Hunters Point. And you can find me on social media. Well, it ain't called Twitter no more. It's called what, X now, right?
Yeah.
Elon that took over that.
Seeing it on the app, I'd be like, what is this?
Said X, formerly known as Twitter, but yeah, it's all at The Real Juice, right? TheRealGuce. You know what I mean? And the same thing on Instagram too. TheRealGuce. And on Facebook, it's I am GUCE, like I am Juice. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, tap in with me. I'm there. You want to send me an email? It's therealjuice@email.com, at gmail.com for sure.
What was it like growing up in Hunters Point for you?
Man, it was definitely a real situation because we came up under that Black Panther vibration. You know what I'm saying? So, it was more about hustling, surviving, getting to the bag more than anything, and just learning a lot. Being in a single parent home living with moms, you know what I'm saying? We traveled around a lot. So I got a little bit of taste of everything. So I pretty much touched all the soils, whether it was Fieldmo, Sunnydale, Lakeview, Army Street, Potrero Hill. Am I forgetting anywhere? The Mission District, North Beach, Valencia Gardens. You know what I mean? Like I had a little bit of everything. So I experienced everything. So growing up in the Bay and in the city, I got a lot of game. And, I came from up under the struggle, man. I come from the bottom, from the gutter. Project, baby.
With you looking at San Francisco and knowing how it is, you feel me? Like, I feel like a lot of times it gets the tourist reputation. People don't always know about all the projects that's in the city. So, like, even like now, it's a lot of going on in the city. It's a lot of politics.
Right. Yeah.
Why do you think, like, I guess there's this misconception on a lot of this that takes place in San Francisco?
Man, I think we're not trying to glorify, the gangbanging at the end of the day, but it is what it is. But the funny thing is that you said that because, even there by Fisherman's Wharf, you know what I'm saying, where all the tourists be, I think Frisco goes above and beyond to overshadow, what the ghettos look like, and even covering up police brutality, all of that. Like they go above and beyond, not shining a light on it. I remember when what's that movie director name? Spike Lee. I remember when Spike Lee tried to come out there and shoot the sucker free. But it didn't really get no light shined on the city like that, and so they go out their way, and it's got to do with capitalism. You know what it is. Yeah. Frisco got some of the prime real estate, right?
For sure.
And they don't want that. They don't want to lose no money. So you know, they do whatever they can to overshadow the fact of what's really going on. But I'm here to tell you, at the end of the day, you come to the city and you make the wrong turn, man, you might not go home. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no,
Like
for sure.
it it is what it is. It get real spunky out there, you know.
What's your opinion on the bib culture?
You know, they done figured out a way to create another hustle. Some cats is you know, coming up in a real way off that. I look at that like that's the new age jacker. You know what I'm saying? That's the new age at a kick in your door and lay you down, right? I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with it, but I understand it. I come from it, but you know, you run into the wrong, they gonna air your ass out, big breaking in their car. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I ain't really got no feelings on it. But my thoughts is, you know, that EDD money is gone.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Uh they doing what they need to do, man, to try to figure it out. You know, the crack game ain't the same no more. Everybody, you know, the pill game and just a lot of shit is getting shut down the way cats used to hustle and come up. You know, these females is doing better than these nowadays. You know what I mean? So it ain't that
no,
easy to sit a bitch down like they would normally do, you know. So they figure, hey, we're gonna do what we gotta do and start just busting in these cars, and they coming up on a lot of good shit
yeah, no,
because
for
of
sure.
the type of people that's, you know, driving these certain type of cars and having these certain type of tangible items sitting in their trunk or in their seat or whatever the case may be. Moving on, uh, be aware and try to, you know, get some type of safe parking or something. Or don't leave shit in your car. You
Yeah,
know,
straight up. That
real talk.
hey, you know when you get a rental, when you come in town, you get a rental. They like don't leave nothing in your car.
Yeah, my people's that, you know, we work together and he my engineer too. You know what I'm saying? My boy Jay State. I was like a day late. He called me and he was like, I'm on my way to the bay. And I was like, man, don't park your shit. He said they already hit me. He
Damn,
said they already hit me. So they ended up linking up with Whack 100. And you know what I'm saying? He blessed them and you know, took care of them while they was out there in LA. You know, took care of my man's Jay State, you know. So
can you talk about how you came up with the name Juice?
okay. Uh, you know, so when I was younger, I was a blood. And my rap name was Blood Box. You know what I'm saying? 14, 15 years old back in the days, way before any of that shit. And you know, I put out an album with my partner from Valencia Gardens, Ready Rock, rest in peace, Ready Rock Reg.
Yeah,
It was Blood Box and Ready Rock. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy about that, man. You know, first album, Victor Hall did the cover. I don't know if cats remember Victor Hall back in the days. Used to
I'm
work
not
out of
familiar
over
with
there by
that.
the lake. Yeah, we used to work by the lake in Oakland. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Victor Hall, man, did a lot of great photos and stuff. So, you know, and shout out Showtime too. Showtime was pushing that album for me back then. But I was promoting it one day in the mall, and the Crip Cat was like, I don't fuck with that. He was like, your music dope, but I don't fuck with that. And he was talking about the blood, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
yeah.
because I was Blood Box, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up changing my name. I ended up hooking up with my partner, Jen, and we came up with Gin and Juice, you know, in the Straight Lace Mob. Rest in peace, the Buster 415. Shout out Sean Mo. And we changed the letters around. You know what I'm saying? So he put the J on the gin, and I put the G on the juice. And then I
Gotcha.
took the I out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I was like, you know, we talk ebonics out here, so I'm gonna make the world say juice the way I spell it.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so we came up with it like that. And also when I was signed with Riot Records, Jive was trying to sign me, but we was having a conversation and they was talking about how Blood Box wouldn't sound good featuring Mary J. Blige. Today, you could be whatever you want to be, right? Party Next
Yeah,
Door, like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in
yeah,
the day, a nigga wouldn't have came with a name like Party Next Door. A nigga would have been like, what? Nigga?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But,
What is that?
it was either like, yeah, it was like, you had to come with a shit like Dangerous Dame or, shit like that. But, they were just saying how it wouldn't fit with like Mary J. Blige. But now Juice featuring Mary J. Blige, that sound good, you
Yeah.
know. So they ended up getting me to shift, and you know, I created that name, and voila, it's what it is today. You feel me?
No, I like it. I feel like definitely it's more marketable for sure. If that's what they that's what the
Yeah. It's all about marketing, man, and not being offensive. Like I say today in 2023, you could be whatever you want to be. I mean, cats got names that you would never think in 2023 that if you type in the word LIL, you know, looking for an artist that you like, you're gonna get 100 different niggas that's
yeah,
little this, little that. You know, I
that is
always thought
crazy.
it had just been Little Wayne, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
now it's hella littles, you know what I'm saying? So back then you wouldn't have been able to do that because they would have told you if your name had a little on it, you sound like Little Wayne. And they'd
yeah.
have sent you on about your way. Change your name, come back and see it. So you feel me? But that's what it was though. So that's how I came up with that gin and juice.
You talked about you said you was a blood, like that was going on in the Frisco, or like where how did that happen?
No, I got put on a sack.
Got
I got put
you,
on a
got you.
huh? Yeah,
I
yeah. I
got
got put on the
you.
Sacramento. I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, before niggas even decided to even have conversations in the Bay Area, I was doing that shit a long time ago. I'm an OG in this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I did that shit when I was a kid and you know, shout out to all my people in Sacramento. That's why Sacramento got a special place with me in my heart. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I was always back and forth. I got over 400 some relatives in Sacramento. Like literally, you know, we would have our family reunions at Elk Grove Park. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Or Wayland Park, you know. And you know, so when I had got you remember training day, right?
yeah,
Remember when Snoop got choked out with the rocks?
yeah.
I went through that shit. I went through that shit in the projects in Valencia Gardens, in the
For
VGs,
real.
down on 15th Street. Yeah, I got choked out. I tried to swallow the rocks. Dude choked me out. And then you know, after that, I went to YGC, juvenile hall, and then they made me a ward of the state. You know, I got caught with, you know, and then they made me a ward of the state. So my mom was like, "We gonna move to Sacramento," and they was like, "Well, send his case out there." And when I got to Sac, they was on some, well, you know, he ain't been committing no crimes out here. So they kind of put me on probation, but then they put me in Sac, and then all my cousins out there and relatives out there. And then, you know, I just ended up doing what I ended up doing. But I got put on by my homeboys, Pokey and Danny, you know what I'm saying, from Cherry Street, Cherry Block, Meadow Mob, you know what I mean? And then from there, I ended up being in Oak Park where I was at, you know.
Yeah,
But the thing is that when I was out there, and I wanted to clarify that because I know I had did an interview before, and a lot of people in the comments was like, see, I told this story, right? That when I went out there, you know, we from the Bay, right? So back then, you know, we was looking like paid in full back then. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Donkey robes, gazelle glasses, Kango fur, travel foxes. You know, we was wearing triple goose coats. You know what I'm saying? We was wearing all of the Wuku hats, the raccoon hats with the fur, and you know, niggas was having money back then, right? Because it
Right.
was the crack era. And when I went to SAC, I had took my relatives to Carl's Jr. I'm a young nigga having money. You know what I'm saying? Project baby. So when I turned around, I said, "Blood, what y'all want?" Because you know we say blood. You know, cats saying cousin in the Bay didn't come till later on down the line.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying blood or young blood.
Got you. I got you. I got you.
Then, so when he put out the 22, I was ready to whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? With the pistol. But this pregnant chick, I'll never forget. She jumped over the counter and was like, he don't know nothing about that. He ain't even from out here. He from the Bay. You know, and then me and dude had words or whatever. But from that point, I was just like, a nigga can't tell me what I want to say. Nigga, blood, nigga, whatever. You
Yeah.
know? But I ended up getting put on by my homeboys anyway, later on down the line. But I was a kid then when that happened. So yeah, you know, that's what that was. That's how that come about. For anybody that didn't know or don't know or want to be like, oh, how's Mercy and Juice and this nigga, I've been a blood. Everybody know I was a blood. Everybody that know Juice, that know me, they know my name was Blood Box before it was Juice. Nigga, if you don't know, you just don't know. Do your homework. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This shit real.
Nah, that is true though, because even like me, we're living in LA. When a nigga from the Bay first come to LA, he saying blood, he saying cuz, they like, what's going on? But I'm like, But
Yeah.
you, I'm like, that's how we talk. Like that's
Right, right,
that's a crazy
right.
story though. That's a crazy story though for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's real.
so what was it that initially got you into making music?
Shit, I was born into it. I was raised in it. You know what I'm saying? My mama, my uncles, everybody, singing in the church. He played with Sly and the Family Stone back in the days. So it was just instilled in me. And then Sibo from Sacramento, Sibo and Chill Be Dope. I was locked up in Slough House County Boys Ranch back in the days. And Sibo and Chill Be Dope from Valley High, they taught me how to rap. They taught me how to put my first rap together. And fucking around with RTP in Valencia Gardens, Ragtop Productions, my people Thad, Marv Ellis, The Phantom, Volcano, rest in peace, Drano Lee, D Jam, Baby D Jam, you know what I'm saying? Sweet D, Pimpin' Lee, you know what I'm saying? Rapping Forte, the whole ragtop production. When we was young, that's when I was blood box, you know what I'm saying? But when we was young, I looked up to them guys and I wanted to do my thing back then, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really got it started. So once I really got focused on doing the music and changing my name and everything, that's when Sibo and Chill Be Dope came into the picture when I was locked up in the boys ranch. And that's when I started doing the music. I wanted to I had a desire to do it. You know what I'm saying? To hear how I sound over a beat. You know,
Yeah.
we'll
Uh,
talk.
nah, I think that's super tight, and I think it with you like making music from such a young age, I think it's crazy. You feel me that you still on it today? Like, is that what you imagined
Yeah.
when you was making music back then, or did you feel like it was just be something for the time, or you felt like you feel me? A lot of years later, you still rapping.
Yeah, I felt I not felt, but I thought about back then. Like I always been ahead of my time, but like rejection always made me more aggressive with the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like to not get um that notification that I deserve to get, the flowers that I deserve to get. That's what made me just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I always thought bigger than where I was from. Like a lot of cats is content and comfortable with, what I'm saying, just making music around the bay and doing shows from San Jose to Santa Cruz and out there in Santa Rosa and a little bit of Sac and Fresno and Stockton, and niggas is comfortable with that. I
yeah,
wanted what Mac Dre and what Too Short and E40 and them, like I followed behind Sibo and them, like what they had, because they was traveling from state to state, getting their shit popping. And I was just waiting on my turn. Like, and once I got it lit, bro, it was on and cracking. You know what I'm saying? And I've been real influential to this community, you know what I'm saying, to the hip hop community. Like it's a lot of niggas that's big today that I helped be responsible for their careers being ignited. You know what I mean? But you don't get the flowers for that, right? You
yeah,
see these, you see these top 50 lists and shit like that. The niggas be doing in their band. They be like, nigga, I put them niggas on. Like, Bullies with Fullies is the biggest shit to come out of Northern California.
yeah,
It's huge. I still get booked in different states on that shit today. You see what I'm saying? So that adds fuel to the fire, and it's in me. It's not on me. So I love to hear how I sound over a beat. I love to sit back and think about what I could create, who I can do collaborations with, and how that shit will come out and how the people will enjoy it and love it. By the way, that new album is out right now. You know what I'm saying? Mob Motivation
yeah.
with me and June on the beat. And that shit
That's
slapping.
the jewel. I was just gonna say the new album right now. You just dropped it August 4th. My motivation. That's on all streaming platforms, man. 14 records.
Slapping.
14 records. Shout
There
out
you
June
go.
too. Shout out June for
June
sure.
on the beat, baby.
How,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was it? What was the process like for y'all putting that together?
When I had caught my attempted murder, I was sitting on June couch back in 2014. So this before everything took off the way that it took off. You know what I mean? We was already sitting, I was sitting behind him and he was making beats, and we was talking about everything that was going on, and you know, I ended up falling. So that's when I was dealing with, you know, when I was dealing with Mozzy and just everybody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I ended up going down for the attempted murder or whatever, and I ended up sitting down for like, let me see, 2014 and 2020. So like almost, I fought for 5, almost 7. You know what I mean? And then I ended up winning my appeal. Charges got reduced, and then I came home. And so he found that I was out through family. You know what I'm saying? We got mutual family members. So my people's D and my people Mike, Metalview Mike, you know, they put us back in touch. And June called me. He was like, "You home? You out?" We saw him, you know. So we picked up right where we left off. You know what I mean?
That's tight. That's tight. Uh, but I like the new project. I did want to ask you though. Like, I know you got records.
Talk to
Like,
me.
I'm going through your catalog. Like, you got shit back from '05, man. Like, like,
Yeah.
what do you think has changed the most? Like since then, since that juice, like in '05, you feel me? Like pill music. Like, what do you think has changed
I
you as an artist? Like,
um what changed, man, is you know, the lifestyle that I was living. If anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, who would have known, you know, just being young and just being out there and doing all that shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit is incriminating. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, so that would be the difference just as far as, you know, how I'm living, what I'm involved in, or who I'm dealing with, you know. Versus today, I can just sit back and put out good music and deal with the organic people who, you know, I know what it feels like to actually sell records. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if anything, that's the biggest thing that probably changed in regards to like actually selling records. Cats ain't really doing numbers like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just streams
yeah,
and things of that nature. Ain't really no money in it like it used to be, right?
yeah,
You could press up a certain amount of CDs and make 100,000 in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Versus now, you know, cats is more so trying to figure out a way to get hella streams just to make $1,000, right? Um, and so that is what has changed a lot as far as like where I am in the perspective of it. Um, the mental health, uh, the stress, right?
yeah,
Um, uh, 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 having to live right up under the gun, right? Being like cremating the block, right? It's kind of like a metaphor for because we didn't have labels back then, right? We didn't have major labels, so a nigga had to really hustle and put that money and invest into itself. You know, that was really what it was. Like, if you was really out there, if you was really, you know, one of those record labels back then, niggas was using whatever type of money they was getting in the streets to put it into the music. That shit is stressful because it was banging going on. Motherfuckers was getting knocked down. You know what I mean? So to
yeah,
be able to survive through all of that, you know, that's a big change to where I don't got nothing to prove no more. I done did all of that shit.
yeah.
I done did all of that shit. Sorry about that.
Are you
I done
good?
did all of that shit. So now I can just, you know, be on cruise control and just really put out the good music for the people that really want to hear it in regards to me, you know, in dealing with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm content with having that organic fan base. I know I can press up some bullies for fullies merchandise and the shit gonna sell. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Versus if I was a new artist. Go ahead, say what you finna say.
I was gonna say like, like the term of pressing up the CDs and doing that, like that's a different type of hustle that a lot of artists today don't know shit about. Like they wouldn't know where to start with that. So like where did you even learn that side from? Like how did you learn that side? Because I think that's a lost art form today still.
I mean, it's a when it comes to, you know, that type of grind and that type of hustle, it's a collective of, you know, different individuals that I've met throughout the time doing that thing. I don't want to leave nobody out because it's just the independent hustle. What I'll say is that it's just the independent hustle, and you had to figure it out. It had to make sense, right? Dealing with one of the first companies that we was dealing with, which wasn't a distribution company, it was really a major mom and pop.
Yeah.
See, that's what a lot of cats don't understand, right? So Innovator Records was right there in Oakland, right? That was one of the main mom and pops that we would deal with. And so you press up your CD, you press up your CD or your cassette, and you go sell it for $7. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so if I'm pressing up 1,000 CDs for $800 and I'm selling them for $7, I'm making 7,000 off of $800.
Yeah.
The dope game don't even profit like that. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So it only made a lot of sense. And so that's why a lot of big time D-boys or whatever that was starting up these labels, they started to see real money, shit that, that it took them a while to make off of some bricks. They were seeing that shit off in weeks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like checks for 250, a million, a $500,000, so that independent hustle, I feel like a lot of youngsters missed out on that game. They missed out on doing that to where now we know it ain't really no money in it, right? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're doing a collective of everything all together, then you're able to really make some money off of it. And if you got some hot records, you'd be able to do some shows and gain some capital from that perspective. But
Yeah.
just putting the album out based on streams, ain't no money in that shit. It ain't like it used to be. Not like
Yeah.
how we had it.
Yeah.
Nah, it ain't like that.
Do you think it will ever go back to artists will want to sell records more? Or you think that record that's not coming back?
That's what the industry is turning back to right now. Even the reason why I'm still doing it to this day, because Gazi told me, you one of the OG cats that still, the young cats, the young niggas can relate. You know what I'm saying? You can still make a few dollars. So you
Yeah.
ain't gotta throw in the towel. It's a lot of these older cats, they ain't keeping up with their creativity. You know what I'm saying? And so they throwing in the towel, or they figuring out other things to do, whatever, not to take away from the success that they've had, but you got to do other things, right? Movies, merch, shows,
Yeah.
it's other ways. It's other ways to make money, but it's getting back to that because if you look at what's going on with today's artists, these artists that they put all these jewelry on these niggas and they try to take these niggas from the bottom and already shoot them to the top. Look at me. I got all this jewelry, I got all these cars. I'm the nigga. That ain't how it work no more. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit started to play out. It's becoming redundant. Too many niggas are sounding the same, and it's cats like, I come from the era where, Kendrick Lamar don't sound like J. Cole.
Yeah.
J. Cole don't sound like E40.
Yeah.
E40 don't sound like Too Short. Too Short don't sound like Messy Marv. Messy Marv don't sound like Juice. Juice don't sound like Sebo. Sebo don't sound like Brother Lin. You know what I'm saying? Like you had your own shit to where now everybody is mimicking each other. And
Yeah.
so they killing the game for themselves to where the cats who got the real organic fan bases like my nephew Larry June or you know what I'm saying, individuals like that's
Yeah.
able to do these shows by themselves and sell out. They come from that era of organic fan bases where they want to listen to your music, they want to support your merchandise. These new artists that's coming out today worried about streams and shit. All I got to do is get on my phone, like your shit, leave a comment, and then I'm on to the next. But the artists that we got, they want to talk to you, they want to tap in, they want to see your music, they want to buy some merch, they want to support you, they want to send you videos of them playing your shit. They gonna tell their homeboy gonna tell their homeboy, he gonna tell her homegirl gonna tell her mama gonna tell her grandmama, ain't he gonna be saying, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be out playing your shit at picnics. That's the area that we come from, and that's the area that it's getting back to. If you don't, and I'm just gonna say this right quick to the artists out there. If you don't come up with a signature sound for yourself, if you sounding like niggas from Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, if you sounding like other niggas when you know you from the Bay, you lost already. have your own, gotta have your own signature style. Period. And that's what's gonna make you last in this shit, man. You can't be sounding like other niggas.
Nah, 100%. I agree. I agree with you 100%. That's definitely factual. Can you talk about the bullies with fullies movement and how that got started? How you even come up
Shit.
with that?
Shit, my partner, man, the Buster, man, 415, rest in peace. I had got into it with this nigga on Crusader in the point. And um, you know, I ended up knocking him out. And then some gun shit got involved. And, at the end of the day, it was a struggle. Pistol got took, whatever. I went to the homie. And like, what's the boy name on Boys in the Hood? What's the one cat on Boys in the Hood that had the pacifier in his mouth? Remember him?
I know you're talking
The
about.
one that was the one that was always, man, it was nigga, we was shooting at everybody out there. Nigga was hella niggas over there. Nigga, he was always just hella animated with it when we was telling the story. Well, that's how I was. I was telling my homeboy, the Buster, rest in peace, 415, from Hunters Point. I was telling him, on the queue. And he was just like, man, you're a bully with a fully. And then, Adrian, man, that's family. That's my cousin. And 3 Times Crazy was already doing what they was doing. And plus, I had already had Keek and BA. They was already on doing hella music with me and just coming to Hunters Point and hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Because I always brought artists to Hunters Point. You know what I'm saying? Cats like Be Legit, Bath Gafe. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sibo. I was just bringing niggas to the city, bringing them to the hood, showing them what it was in these projects. And when he said that, I was just like, all right. And I love Killer Tay. Like he was crazy with that that West Coast Mafia and everything that was going on with Killer Tay and what he was pushing. So I went and grabbed Killer Tay and I went and grabbed my cousin Adrian, man. And then I went over there in Cypress, you know what I mean, in that West Oakland, and I went and got DJ Durrell. And I bridged the gap, you know what I'm saying? And I got Sean T from EPA. My whole thing was always working with other people, Kirk Crumpler. We went and got Kirk Crumpler and we put together the Bullies with Fullies. And if you see, then like I had everybody on there from Spice One to Yuck Mouth. And when that Bullies with Fullies hit, that shit was like a tsunami coming out of the Bay Area. And it went everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats can't deny we had billboards everywhere. Everybody and their mama had that Bosom Fullies and they shit. And so from then, I just kept the movement going. And so my whole goal was to like be the validation for the next up and coming artist, by doing collaborations with them. So then, that's when I went and got Mess. And we broke that barrier because when I did the shit with Killer Tay and I got DJ Durrell, niggas from the city wasn't working with niggas from the town at the time. You might
Why
have
is
had
that?
rapping for just because Oakland and Frisco was always thumping at the Palladium. Them niggas was always fighting at concerts, all the shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was always fighting. You know what I mean? So I had bridged the gap when I went and fucked with Durrell, and that made more Frisco rappers start getting beats from Oakland rappers, and then Hunters Point Filmo. There's a long history with that right there. You know what I'm saying? With cats funking and shooting and everything that was going on. Real gangster shit, real stand-up niggas on both sides of the line. And we even had pushback. Some cats was, and I understand because you got some cats who may have been funking at the time that went to the pen behind funking, and don't have no understanding about an individual being from where they from, working with the opposing team, right? So my uncle Creature, man, he from Fillmore, and then my homeboy T Fats from Big Block, you know what I'm saying? We all got together and we got with Mess because I didn't know Mess at the time. I was running around the city doing what I was doing, but I didn't know Mess. Like personally, I didn't know him. And then so we ended up linking up, and then from there, once we started working together, we ended up having a real good relationship, and that's why that project came out how it came out, real motherfucking organic and slapping to this day. Soul Hood and Orange Juice and a blunt for breakfast is some of the biggest songs to ever come out of the West Coast, still to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can jump out any state and they're gonna bring that shit up, you know, to this day. And then from there, you know, I just kept the movement going. I went and got Jacka, rest in peace.
It's a piece
I
of the
knocked one
jack.
out with him, you know, the homie Philthy. Philthy was on the rise, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I grabbed him, did one with him, you know, and I just want to I want to still continue to keep these Bullies with Fullies going. So everybody just be ready for this next one that's coming. Cause it's gonna have shock value to it.
You was dropping a lot of knowledge right there. You touched on a lot of things that I really want to get into. The first thing I really want to get into with you is like your relationship with Messy Marv. You feel me? I know y'all got a record on My Motivation, which I know the fans was happy to see that. And you just talked about, like, you feel me, you know Mess for a long time. You feel me? I feel like Mess is somebody that gets he gets a lot of people describe him on two sides of the fence. You feel me? What is your relationship with Messy Marv? And I know you've been a big advocate of telling people to stop bashing Messy Marv's name. You feel me? But what is your relationship? How did y'all meet? And like, why do you feel like the way you feel?
My thoughts on Mess is, you know, I got love for Mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know both sides of the mess. I know both of the, you know, um, I understand when I went to the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things happen. A lot of people who I've had relationships with in the industry have you know, Mess has done some things to offend some individuals. I don't condone or advocate for any of the wrongdoing that's been done, but what I do speak to the fact is that if there's a way out of any situation, you know what I'm saying? Cats can clear the air, you know, let bygones be bygones or whatever the case may be, because I just know, just being a street individual coming from the streets, like, people have done worse shit. You know, Mess ain't done nothing to nobody, like, physically. You know what I mean? It's all been words. Um, there are some people that some things have happened back in the days, you know, and I can't tell anybody how to feel in regards to that. But I know that there's things in life where there's people who have done worse shit to cats. You know what I mean? Like, my whole thing is, like, you know, cats put a lot of energy into, you know, bashing Mess, but you got um niggas that done murdered your homeboys and you ain't doing nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas that snitching that's still on the block. You ain't doing nothing about it. Like, it's other shit that you could be focused on other than the fact of, you know what I'm saying, that this nigga is down on his luck right now. You know what I mean? And you know, I pray for him and I hope his fans pray for him. You know, put it in the universe, speaking into existence. You know, that Mess bounce back, get his mind back. Um, you know, Mess has been Mess has done some shit to where I didn't wanted to do some things to him before. But I weigh out the balance, right? I balance it out. Is it, you know, has he done more bad or has he done more good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as far as his drug addiction, I was dealing with him the whole time with that shit. But I never talked about him or never brought it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
real niggas don't do that type of shit, especially if you say somebody your friend or you call somebody your brother. I'm not finna sit up and talk about blood situation like that. Um, so, you know, cats seeing how it got the best of them, you know, I was dealing with that shit even when we was recording uh the Bullies with Fullies project. You know,
Yeah.
he was, you know, having some certain type of issues. I mean, even DJ Durrell speak on it on an interview that he had. He talked about how he had to call me to come get Mess and, you know, different things like that. And
Yeah.
I ain't trying to go that far into it, but what I'm saying is that, you know, Mess is a pillar from the Bay. Um, a lot of the niggas that's bashing him, they had a relationship with him at one point in time. Um, I've heard he said some really hurtful things, but time heals, right?
Of course.
People could go on with their life, and I don't think he done nothing for nobody to want to bust his head or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, he get his mind right. He come home. He don't even got to put out another album. He gonna sell out more shows. He gonna sell out shows more than a lot of the cats that's got bad shit to say about him. You know what I'm saying? Like Mess really got fans. Like
A lot of fans. People.
hardcore. Like I'm moving around. Like I'm in the Midwest, so I'm moving around. You see what I'm saying? Niggas know what it is. Like, but if cats, for whatever reason, want to, hold on to, hating that dude for whatever reason, they got the right to do so, but I speak to it to the fact like a nigga that's in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? You can't you can't be having a relationship with a nigga over a bowl of soup or some spread. Either it's genuine or it's not. You know, I love you today, I hate you tomorrow, right? It's
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Like, if you really, really, really had that relationship with Mess, you got to understand. Like, that's even with me and E40. Right before I had went to trial and got cooked. They sat my ass down. I was at the concert with E40, and we was in the room talking about it because Mess had said some shit that he shouldn't have said about 40. I don't know. Maybe, what I'm saying, for whatever reason, he said whatever he said. But at the end of the day, he sat me down and was just like, man, what's wrong with him? And I was just like, man, sometimes he be, them drugs make Mess think a certain way and say shit, say some shit that he ain't got no business saying. And I'm not justifying it and saying that it's okay, but I'm saying at the end of the day, is he really saying something to you to where you really, really, really want to cause this nigga some type of physical or bodily harm, at this point now? Because we know now that Blood is locked up. He facing a lot of time. He ain't even in a regular institution. He in some more other type of shit.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And I'm only able to figure that out and find that out because of how I was fighting case law and learning, how I was fighting my case and learning about case law and knowing how to research and look up shit. And I hope he get his mind right. But he's done a lot of good things with me. We made great music together. I definitely got to that bag with him. Um, and I'm always gonna remember him for that. Even the bad shit that he did to me, you know. Even when he did that shit in Seattle, a lot of people try to take that situation with Big Donnie. Shout out to Big Donnie, man, and all the homies out there in Washington, Seattle, man. They took that situation with Big Donnie. Big Donnie's the one that grabbed the mic. That's
Gotcha.
my brother. That's my brother's childhood friend. A lot of them cats on that stage was my homeboys. A lot of them cats was GDs, Hoovers, Crips. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't really
Yeah.
no bloods. Wasn't really no bloods on the stage. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I'm only saying that so that it can be clarified and understood that what people thought it was, and maybe even Mess was confused and thought that it was a lot of bloods on stage, but it wasn't. It was a lot of homies from the South End, in Tacoma, you know what I'm saying, and West Side Bloods or the East Side Bloods or Hilltop, and things of that nature that was up there on that stage. So when that happened, that was the homie Big Donnie. And he really didn't mean no harm. Like, like if you talk to Big Donnie today, Big Donnie will tell you, he's like, I didn't even want that shit to turn out like that. That's fucked up, all the shit that people saying on the internet, because that wasn't his intention.
Yeah.
Because to keep it a buck, when Mess had called me, because I didn't even know he was having a show at that time. I was in the Bay,
Yeah.
and my peoples, the twins from out there, at the record store, they from the CD from the Central District. They had buzzed me in, and Mess got on the phone like, Chevelle. I'm like, who is this? He like it's Marvin, like, and
Yeah.
and I had told the homies like to look out for him till I got out there. He was like, come on here, I got a show. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm on my way. And so he was in a CD and it was all love. Big Donnie was there. they were looking out for Mess.
Yeah.
So when he took the mic, it wasn't so much as like he was, you know, like, nigga, give me the mic. Like, no, it didn't happen like that. It was more so like, yeah, cripping in the house too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, my
yeah, yeah,
homeboy
yeah.
C4, the homie C4 was on the side. You know, if you ever go to Washington, you hear about C4, well known, well respected. You know what I mean? I can name all of the cats that was on the stage because I'm the one that was in Seattle
Yeah.
moving around. You see what I'm saying? So I can name everybody on the stage from Papa Black to Rob Walsh, you know what I'm saying? Marshawn Lynch, Brandon Roy, Jamal Crawford, like all of these people that we was letting in be on the stage. So when that situation turned out, it was just a miscommunication. And then Mess said what he said, and Big Donnie got mad, and then it just turned into a whole bunch of other shit. And then my young nigga Monster, you know what I'm saying, Hoover, Monster Rat, you know, that's who threw Big Donnie off the stage.
Yeah.
And my brothers, you know, Papas and T, they was you know, getting in that shit or whatever the case may be. But even with that situation, for a while I was pissed off at Mess because he got on what did he get on? He got on World Star and he did all of that weird shit with the computer and the pistol. And you know, the homie Chuck from Street Cred from Fillmore, he was like, you ain't gonna say nothing. And I was like, nah, man, I ain't finna do Mess like that. You know what I mean? And you know, Mess just didn't understand because before he did that video, he had called me and was like, man, tell all the homies out there, man, to thank you for like for helping him. You know what I'm saying? For not letting the situation get worse than how it got, right? And I told Mess, I said, man, they gonna deal with their own. Like you good. Ain't nobody finna do nothing to you. Ain't nobody finna take your chains. And none of that shit's finna happen. And and it didn't. But he got on the internet and you know, he felt like he needed to say something because of the comments and how, you know, motherfuckers was getting at him. And at that time, he had disrespected Too Short and Fab, and you know, so they was on his ass, you know what I mean? And it was going however it was going. And I just kind of just sat back, you know, and ate a bag of pistachios and, you know, chewed on some popcorn and shit and watched it. It was, you know, like a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had a show at Papa's Pub in Seattle, and E40 was there, Be Legit, Duna, Jacka, Keek the Sneak, Marshawn Lynch. It was a lot of people there. And I just kind of just called everybody on stage. And and I just said, man, we're gonna because they had a fuck messy Marv movement going on out there, and they couldn't wait for him to come out there and do another show. They was gonna make an example out of Mess out there. And
Yeah.
it was going on, it was going throughout all the streets, but so, you know, tapped in out there, you know, like really out there fucking with the trenches, with the gutter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I called all the homies on stage and I just told them, you know, people make mistakes. You know, we got love for Mess, and you know, we're gonna kill this fuck messy Marv movement. But that was back then, you know. I can't really speak to what was going on when I was in the penitentiary. You know, I heard some shit and some things that he said, and I was just kind of a little bit disgusted behind it too, right? But at the end of the day, I'm saying like a nigga ain't. I know what he did in Vallejo, and I can't speak on that. You jump out and you got kids running and shit like that, you know.
The dig
Them,
situation. Yeah.
that's a different situation. Yeah, like that's a different situation. That's something else. But even I was watching an interview not too long ago, something popped up and I seen something and it showed I think it was a reel or something, or one of them shorts. And even Diggs was like, man, you know, Mess need to work on getting his mind together. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
ain't even so aggressive on the shit no more like he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
from how it was conveyed to me.
Yeah.
But I've been around Diggs and see the thing about it is I know for a fact Diggs had major love for Mess.
Nah, he told me that for sure.
Listen, I know Diggs. Like I know for a fact because when the shit happened in Reno, Diggs was ready to go to war. I was in Vegas with Diggs at we was at it was I think we was at Field video shoot with Cookie, and I was just talking to Diggs and I was trying to explain to him that was some blood shit and it didn't have nothing to do with the Bay. And Diggs was like, man, fuck that. Mess from the Bay. Niggas ain't got no business putting their hands on him like that. So I can understand from that perspective. And this is something that he said to me personally. You know what I'm saying? We were having this conversation to the side while other niggas was over here doing whatever they was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I knew that he was ready to go to war behind Mess. period, point blank. So whatever Mess did to make him feel however he felt, you know, it must have been some real, you know, some real bad shit that was said. But
Yeah.
even now to this day, Diz is like, man, Mess mind is gone. He need to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of shit. And so that's the only thing that I'm implying. And I'm putting free mess into the universe. I'm putting the energy out there because you speak it into existence. It's life and death and power in the tongue. You say some shit, it can come into existence. I
Yeah.
know that. I know that for a fact because if it wasn't for prayer and me speaking on it, you know what I'm saying, in the most high, I wouldn't be here doing this interview with you today.
Yeah.
We'd be on the phone talking about you got 30 seconds left. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, all right, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's count time. I got to lock it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Real shit.
nah, I'm
Real
sitting here
shit.
in a nice setup with, views for the penthouse, man. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, straight
You
up, straight
feel me?
up.
So,
Nah,
so, so,
I
so,
agree with you on that.
so
Uh,
it's like, I'm just putting it into the universe and I'm speaking to the motherfuckers who really care about Mess, his fans and whatnot. Put that shit out there. Free Mess. Get that nigga out. You know what I'm saying? Faith is small as a mustard seed to move mountains, my nigga. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Get Mess out. Put it into the universe. Speak that shit into existence. We never know. Get Blood out. And Blood come out with his mind right. And he can reconciliation and reconcile behind the scenes. You ain't got to get on the internet and apologize and do some real nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Get some bosses together, sit down at the round table and put some cold water on some hot shit, man, and get back to it. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. Free
Nah,
Mess, man.
I rock with that for sure.
Yeah,
I think the people needed to hear that for sure.
yeah.
Uh, I did want to get into like with beating the attempted case and all that. Like, how did that happen? Like, first of all, you feel me? Everybody, I talked to a couple people that beat attempted. Like, it's a crazy thing to beat for sure. So I want to salute you on beating it, but like, how did it all happen? What went down? Like, tell me what you can tell me. Like,
Save your money, man. One day it might say you. You feel me?
yeah,
Uh, what shit, what can I say? Hating, jealousy, a motherfucker was putting out a plan to make an attempt on me and I guess he thought I was just a rapper. You know what I mean? Um and you know, I had to spank him with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I spanked him with that shit. Fortunate for me, I didn't knock the hole in his head, but unfortunate for me, the nigga came to court and testified. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess he experienced some real shit in broad daylight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you know, um, we come from this shit, and and cats can tell you when I was out there in Washington, everybody was tapping in with me. Niggas from the Bay, everybody was eating, bringing niggas out there. That's why we started the Bay Addo movement. You know what I'm saying? Like Seattle and Bay Addo put it together, Bay Addo. I mean, Seattle and the Bay put it together, Bay Addo. And me and my boy Papa Black, and we was doing a lot of shit out there, bringing everybody from the Bay. We was bringing niggas like Future, Gucci, man, uh, you name it. We brought them. Lil Boosie,
yeah,
Nip, YG. Like we was doing a lot of shit. I was doing a lot of shit out there. And so I never had no intentions on going out there and doing none of that. But coming from what I come from, which was we talked about Hunters Point and just surviving in Frisco alone, when dude started, getting on whatever he was getting on, it took a nigga back to what a nigga know. You know what I'm saying? And I did what I did to me or him.
yeah,
What would you do? What would
yeah,
you do? Are you gonna go home to your kids? Or are you gonna let a nigga steal you? You
yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
Nah, you ain't gonna steal me, you gonna get stole, right? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Playing, thinking that a nigga just rapping. So, you know, um, that's what happened with that situation. So what they did was they stacked up the charges on me. So when I got there, what they did was they dropped the attempted murder and they once they got me, they stacked up the charges. They put like assault one, drive-by shooting, um, um, felon in possession of a firearm, and then they gave me um, a mandatory gun enhancement, which means like I got to do 5 years flat before I even start my time.
Yeah.
So they try to sit me down. Um, it was a lot of fraudulent shit going on in that case. Uh, jury misconduct, prosecutorial misconduct, judicial system misconduct, even with the judge.
Really?
Ineff- Ineffective. Yeah, all this shit is in my paperwork. My shit is certified. See, niggas be getting on the internet and be talking about shit and saying shit. And this person's a snitch and this person did that. Listen, man, don't no real nigga go through what I went through and don't have a paperwork. You got to travel with your paperwork. Because even sometimes when you get moved to a different institution, depending on who you walk in the cell with, a nigga might actually see your paperwork.
Yeah.
Whether you a punk or not.
Yeah.
Nigga want to know who he's selling up with. What you in here for? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, is you really what you saying you is? Or you know what I mean? So niggas keep their paperwork, man. You know what I mean? And my shit became case law. So at the end of the day, you can Google my shit online, and if you got an individual that's in the same type of situation that I was in, you can use my case to possibly help you get back in court and
Yeah.
beat your shit. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of those type of things happen. And just to speed it up in short, so Blood and his people, they trapped me in or whatever. I had to work my way up out of that. I got the best of them. All right. Um, Blood came to court and testified and said that he just wanted to get a soda from the gas station, which
What?
which made the jury um can find me guilty based on intent, because that made me look like I was the one that was down there on bullshit, and I just whipped out and aired it out. But the lady who called 911, she saw the shooting, and she came to court and testified and said that nigga shot at me first. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
So
that's self-defense.
exactly, you know what I mean. But it was a lot of shit that went on. So the one thing that happened, he will. What's up, bro? um, the one thing that happened was we filed a motion to get his cell phone, right? So when you so basically I got convicted. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. So I got convicted. So I filed a motion for new trial, denied. I filed a motion for reconsideration, denied. Then I went to the penitentiary, and then from there I'm still fighting. So I filed my direct appeal. They denied me. I filed a motion for reconsideration. They denied me. And then it came to where I got my PRP, which is a personal restraint petition. So now with the personal restraint petition, I'm able to get all of the information that I needed that the prosecutor suppressed in the trial. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he kept saying it was 404B evidence. So basically, this nigga record was worse than mine. This nigga had kidnapping, attempted murder, all kind of shit, right? And
Right.
so they didn't want that shit to be brought up in court because it would taint the jury, right?
Exactly.
But he kept bringing up shit on me that he wasn't supposed to bring up, like bringing up the name Bullies with Fullies, right? Juice or Bullies or Fullies wasn't on trial. Juice, Chevelle Pope is. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's finding ways to bring that shit in so that the jury's gonna go home, Google a nigga and see that shit. One of the
Exactly.
first videos that's pop up is this song with me and Jay Stalin, another Quavo. I got Big 223 and all shit. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? A
They're
jury
trying to
see that shit.
paint a picture.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it paint a picture. So we filed a motion. We got Blood phone, and he got a text message from a female telling him that I was in the parking lot.
Wow.
So
So
that's why the prosecutor and them fought to not let that come to get into our possession. But that shit came into our possession. The fat bitch that he was in a relationship with, she got on the stand and testified and was crying and shit and talking about I was a murderer and how she never saw so much blood, and she was saying all this shit, right? And when I was in the pen, my wife did some investigating on her and found her Facebook. Come to find out, this bitch, when she testified, she worked at the gun store, at the gun range. So on her Facebook, she holding up AKs on her Facebook and selling them. But she telling,
Wow.
but she come and testify and say, we don't be around guns, we never be around guns. Bitch, you work at the gun range. What you talking about?
Yeah, that's so you lying.
You
Straight
see what I'm
lying.
saying? So
Yeah.
it was perjury, it was shit like that. The niggas that blocked me in, okay, so there's a video in the apartment complex. So when he pulls into the apartment complex, he jump out bleeding and shit, and he jump into the car with the fat bitch who lied. They drive off. You can see it on the camera, right? Now, the dudes who try to block me in, um, you can see them pull up. They pull up to his truck. They jump in his truck. They pulling shit out the truck. We know what they getting out the truck, right? Because motherfuckers is saying that he shot. He trying to say he didn't have no gun. But your niggas came and they got all of the evidence out the car and they pushed off. So
Yeah.
then the prosecutor withheld that information. That's prosecutorial misconduct. He kept that video out of the courtroom, right?
Yeah.
They been had the video. So, um, this police officer gets on a stand that did the investigation on the truck and was up there saying there was no evidence of a firearm being discharged from his vehicle, right? And so I told my lawyer, I said, go ask him if he saw the video, right? So the lawyer go and ask him. He said, so what can happen if somebody was to, touch this truck? He said, well, that would change the investigation because evidence can be moved and things of that. So it would, it would change the whole outcome of the investigation. So then my lawyer said, well, did you see the video? And the detective looked at the prosecutor with his mouth wide open, like, and he didn't answer for a while. And he looked back at my lawyer and was like, what video? Right?
Wow.
So you had that type of shit that was withheld, which is prosecutorial misconduct. I had jury misconduct. So the jurors, they went out and tried to become investigators on their own, right?
What?
And that's called extrinsic evidence, right? And
Yeah.
when they do that, that denies. So basically, I was denied my right to a fair trial and due process. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where you're able to beat your shit on through the feds, right? With the PRP, because your constitutional rights was violated. My constitutional rights was violated because 6 of those jurors went out and went to go and try and look for the gun because I tossed mine after I
What?
got on blood. I threw my shit. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The
Yeah.
jurors tried to go find it. They weren't supposed to do that.
What
You
type
only
of shit
supposed to
is this?
Right. You only
The
supposed to deal
jury?
with the evidence. You only supposed to deal with the evidence that's presented to you in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you hear, if the judge say strike it, don't use it. If it's used, it's used, right? Well, that's what they did with that shit. And then how the ineffective assistance of counsel came in because Proposition 37. I'm from California. And I fall under the guidelines of Proposition 37, which means that shit that we got arrested for back in the 90s that they consider felonies, today with the George Floyd law and all of these different things that's falling into place, that shit ain't considered no felony no more.
Right.
That's the only thing that they had in the case because I admitted to getting at him because
Yeah.
it's self-defense, right? If it's
Exactly.
self-defense, you got to admit that you used the firearm, right?
Exactly.
So I admitted to it. So they were saying because I admitted to it, that was they considered that a gun, right? But they didn't have no gun. The chick I was with, they went and raided her house and found her guns and they try to just create this image. You know what I'm saying? And they was tainting the jury. And Proposition 37. So I filed a motion in Sacramento and I filed a motion in Frisco to have my charges reduced to misdemeanors because I fell under the guidelines of Proposition 37. And the district attorneys out there, they was like, cool. So when they dropped my charges that they were using as felonies to misdemeanors, it became ineffective assistance of counsel from the first attorney I had because I went through 5 lawyers because they was charging me and I was a layman. I didn't know law. So I was just paying out money to these attorneys and getting fucked, right? And so Proposition 37 became retroactive in 2014. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got charged in 2014. So the attorney that I had at the time should have already knew that. So they got a law in the feds got a law which is called a probability hearing, right? You're automatically supposed to get a probability hearing. If I'm from California and I get charged with a case in another state, they have to compare the crimes before they charge me, right? So
Right.
they lied and said that I had to rob one when I only got arrested for receiving stolen property. The language is different, right?
Exactly.
I had bought a bunch of shit from a booster or whatever. You know how it is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Had that shit all in the house. Police came in the house one day, raided over some other shit, found all that shit, charged me with receiving stolen property. But in Washington, they try to say that it was a rob one. That was how they was able to go. And then I got and then I had got caught in a sting on Bishop Corner and Hunters Point, selling work. You know what I'm saying? And so they try to take that and made it seem like I was the person who was actually selling the work when really I was just a accessory after the fact, because the nigga who worked it was took his charge. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
they kept trying to put everything on me. So that made the judge sign the paper for them to come after me. Right. And then that's when they put the attempted murder out on me. So now that I fall under the guidelines of Proposition 37, they don't have a gun now because my felony charges have been reduced to a misdemeanor. So I'm not a felon. I actually had the right to be in possession of a gun.
Exactly.
So now I get to go back to trial. But with
Right.
all the evidence we got, they don't want to put that nigga back on the stand because this nigga just got busted with 50 guns and hella money and hella shit. And his testimony in the feds went against the testimony in the state, because in the state, to get me convicted, he said I don't be around guns. But in the feds, he tried to use it as mitigating factors, right? So mitigating factors is when you try to get up there and you try to use all of this shit. Oh, I was abused when I was a child and this and that and that. So he was saying that type of shit like, I've been buying guns since 2011. Nigga, hold on.
2014.
We in 2014, nigga. You said you didn't have no guns on the stick. So that's perjury. You see what I'm saying? So we had so much shit to where if I was on some money hungry shit, I could have stayed in there and fought and got some money. Now I could still fight, but I have to go after each individual civilly, right?
Yeah.
Because I took what was the shit that I took? My bad, bro. My brain. What was the shit that I took? I took damn, what was the deal that I took for them to let me out, right? Because the prosecutor called my attorney and said, "What do I want?" And I told him I want freedom. And I said, I don't want to be on no paperwork. I already got PTSD. I don't want to get out and have the motherfucking police running through me with that type of charge on me. They're gonna whip out every time. You see what I'm saying? So I told him I don't want none of that shit. So with the finalization of the contract, with them releasing me, right? I'm not able to sue the state, but civilly, I'm able to go after each individual for violating my constitutional rights. So I just got to come across the right attorney, and that shit take time. Just fighting a case like that or whatever. But I wanted to come home and get to my family, and I felt like whatever I lost, I can get back to it. However, and so at the end of the day, that's how that shit got beat. You know what I'm saying? And I got all my paperwork, man, and I fought. So I sat in that motherfucker. I didn't lay down. I didn't become complacent and act like it's some type of achievement war to be in the penitentiary, nigga, and come out all buff and swole. And you know what I mean? Like, nah, nigga, I fought that shit and came from up under that shit. And voila.
Yeah.
I'm right here talking to you right now. Legit.
Like during that time, what was going through your mind? Like, I know you trying to beat it, but like, you feel me? You was already having a lot of success. You was already a famous person. What is it like going to jail and being like a known rapper at the same time?
Man, it was a blessing and a curse because some of it was embarrassing, but like most of the guys that, you know, they can understand that, you know, I really come from it. So it's not expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, if you really out there, if you really about that, right? You can't be surprised if a nigga come walking through an institution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that was that. But the thing is I was definitely trying to lead by example, because here's the thing. You got a lot of youngsters that go to the penitentiary, right? Them niggas become men in the pen. You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
was a man when I came in.
Yeah.
I done been all over the world. I'm big jewelry, foreign cars. I already done all of this shit. So at the end of the day, I'm coming in there giving niggas a perspective through my eyes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't go in there and was like, nigga, I'm the nigga, this or that or that. Nah, I went in there and walked the yard with real niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had to downsize my thought process. Reality kicked in. The internet, fake, everybody who said they was with a nigga, all that shit disappeared. You know, everything stopped, and reality kicked in. How I'm gonna come from up under this? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to move how I had to move, you know, in regards to that situation, and I had to keep it a buck with everybody because niggas already knew I came in there rich, so I didn't have to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers already had my music on they J players. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Yeah.
mean, like one crazy experience was the white boys, you know, the Aryan Nation or whatever the case may be. I'm walking by, everything is separated out there. You know, white boys at this table, essays over here, blacks over here. I was walking by the white boys, and two of them jumped up. Oh man, what's up, Juice? Woo, woo. You know, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. You know, not under these circumstances, but you know. And then the other white boys was like, "Why the fuck you talking to that black dude?" And the white boy told him, he was like, "Man, that's the same motherfucker you got on your player right now, listening to him right now." You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
So the what I got out of that is that the perspective changes when you got to, when it's status quo. If I was just a regular black guy, they was tripping.
Yeah.
But because I was Juice, they was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
It's cool
So
now.
it was shit like that, man. And then like to keep it a buck, man, I stayed prayed up, working out, staying healthy, doing a lot of reading, and just, learning what I could and giving advice where I could. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much, how I stuck to doing my time. It's a blessing for the motherfuckers who did stick with me and walk that time off with me. And I came from up under it, man. And that's what it was like, being up in there. It definitely gives you hindsight on who the fuck is really with you and who not. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I really learned. And that's why I came home and I just stayed in my lane. And you don't see me doing none of the fake shit, choosing sides, trying to get with niggas to hurry up and get clout and all of this politics and all that bullshit going on. Like, because at the end of the day, nigga, I'm a real nigga and I really bust this thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's documented. See, a lot of niggas is rapping about it, but my shit documented.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real. So like, nigga, I ain't coming home from the penitentiary to be playing behind no rap shit. I'm gonna stay in my lane and do my music. I've been doing what I want to do, how I wanted to do it before I fell. And I'm gonna do what I want to do, how I want to do now that I'm home. And if you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't, whatever, nigga. I don't miss it. It ain't no loss to me. Don't think you hurt me because you don't fuck with me behind some rap shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Real talk.
I appreciate the last stories you just shared with me. I did want to get into some of the more controversial things right now, if you don't mind.
Like what?
The first thing I did want to ask you, you talked about like I guess apparently at some point you had like a beef with Stalin and Lil Blood and you squashed it, but I was trying to figure out what happened with that because you feel I do my research. I know you and Stalin had the Giants and Elephants project, so I'm just
Yeah,
like,
that shit was big.
and which is huge. I'm like, I'm
Well, it
like,
wasn't, it wasn't, it wasn't no beef. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the word beef is, you know, throughout a context, um, it was just a miscommunication, you know, and what happens when individuals don't talk to each other, you know, you people can think things on either side, you know, and you start thinking that a person feel a certain way until y'all talk. And when y'all talk, you know, it'd be like, oh, I didn't mean that. Like, oh, I thought you meant that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was never no beef like that. It was just like there was a discrepancy to where, you know, there wasn't no communication. And so, you know, individuals, you know, kind of like, you know, parted their ways and went their ways. But then we worked that shit out. So before I had failed, you know what I'm saying, the air was clear. So that was a good thing. So it ain't no controversial shit like um, you know, that's, you know, Stalin, that's bruh. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just like he told DJ K-Tone, you know what I'm saying? Like Juice, bruh, like cause Stalin even said it like Juice, you know, we fell out for a little bit, but we clear that shit, you know, Stalin. Because if you like I said, if your situation is you can't build a relationship with a motherfucker over a bowl of soup. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Either it's genuine or it's not. If it's a genuine situation, niggas can always come to the table and figure it out. What's wrong? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to see none of my niggas, you know, not win or see none of them go bad. And yeah, so it wasn't no beef with them like that. No, it wasn't nothing like that.
I got you. Um, what do you feel about like the Philthy Rich and Mozzy situation? You feel me with them falling out? That's someone you was kind of cool. I know the one thing that stuck out to me what you said prior was that you was like you was not picking sides. You feel me? You was never picking sides.
Well, I mean, I got my relationship, you know, with both sides. That was something that happened when I was in a penitentiary. How can I come home and just be like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't even make no sense
Yeah,
to do that when I know I got history in relationships,
yeah,
long relationships, you know what I mean? That go beyond whatever it is. And at the end of the day, you know, here's the thing. You gotta be a man when it comes to shit, right? And I'm glad that you asked that question. And it ain't just so regards to Phil or Mozzy, you know what I mean? Like, not even just about that, but about these other niggas that's calling themselves doing whatever it is that they doing. Be a man in the situation. If you fuck with a nigga and a nigga doing something wrong, nigga pull that nigga to the side and hold him accountable for what he doing. Niggas ain't telling niggas when they wrong. You know what I'm saying? And allowing shit to go further and further and further out. You know what I'm saying? On some yes man shit. Because here's the thing. I'm just gonna throw some hypothetical names out there. You got Frank, Bob, and Jim.
yeah,
These niggas all brothers, right? Frank, Bob, and Jim, they all do whatever they do. Frank and Jim get into it. Bob in the middle, right?
yeah,
So while Frank and Jim, so while Frank and Jim beefing, Bob decided to choose the sides to go with Frank,
yeah.
right? And then Frank and Jim end up being cool. But Bob then took it upon himself to go so far that him and Jim can't get back.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's the problem that be happening with niggas to where some niggas need to just keep their mouth shut and mind their business and let shit play out, because how is everybody gonna feel when other niggas decide to be cool again? And I'm not just speaking on their situation, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
Some niggas is doing that in the industry. All them niggas got beef. Then, you know, you wake up one day and they done made a public announcement that they cool. And
exactly.
now you over here, you done did all of this other shit and all this hating shit when a motherfucker ain't never even done nothing to you personally.
Now it's like now it's no coming back for you because you
Now
know.
it's no coming back from you, because at the end of the day, you gonna be like, bruh, it's good with me and you, but that nigga right there is a sucker. You see what I'm saying? And then when this person end up being cool with you, they gonna leave you out there to deal with all of this shit by yourself. Motherfucker ain't finna stick up for you because they're gonna be good to they're gonna be happy to get the heat off of them. You see what I'm saying? And this is what's been going on, which is why the Bay is so fucked up now. Cause niggas is adapting this drill, this ops, this, this politics, choosing sides, getting other niggas issues. Like, man, handle that shit in the streets, man. If it's something, it's something. If it ain't, it ain't. And niggas fight. Nigga, what's wrong with living another day? Get down. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, if you
forgot that.
the size I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my pull-ups and burpees, hitting the iron, all the shit. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not finna argue with no little nigga. We ain't finna do no rapping against each other and all of that because I'll beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? So why am I finna rap against you? And you a little nigga, so why are you rapping against me? If you run into me in a supermarket or something, you're gonna be on some other shit. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna be on some other shit. You're gonna be backpedaling. I'm telling you how this shit go, bro. Like niggas be backpedaling when niggas run into each other. And then niggas throw other niggas into it, right? So say me and you fall out. We beefing each other, right? And I'm like, nigga, fuck Innovators, Hunters Point. Nigga, I'm trying to throw the whole Hunters Point in it now. So now niggas in Innovator think that the whole Hunters Point got beef with Innovators. And that ain't what it is. No, Juice got beef with Innovators, nigga. And it's between Juice and the Innovator. It ain't between Juice and a whole Hunters Point, but that's what niggas do. They throw their niggas into it. They put their whole block, you know what I'm saying, and make it seem like it's this or that. I don't know if it's for likes or views or whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck niggas is doing it, but that shit ain't, what is it doing? Fucking up the bag. Cats ain't working together no more like we used to. Come on, man. You remember how it used to be? Everybody was working with each other. Everybody was doing it. Now niggas ain't working with each other. Niggas
really
ain't
divided right now, for sure.
It's quiet because that poison and got into, what the Bay and the independent game and what it was all about. That shit done got up in there and it just fucked everything up. And niggas is making street shit, personal shit, about music shit, rapping about it, talking about it, incriminating themselves, because a lot of you niggas is finna get picked up. All that talking you doing, all that shit, niggas is gonna get picked up. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna find out real fast that it ain't all what you thought it was when you sitting behind the walls. But just as far as those type of situations, I can't really speak to the magnitude of what happened. I wasn't there. I wasn't the fly on the wall in the room. You know what I'm saying? Each individual feel how they feel, but what I will say is this. I don't see the energy like a motherfucker want to kill somebody. Do you see that?
Nah.
Do you see that?
Nah.
I don't see that. You know what I mean? There might be other individuals that might be on that type of shit, but that's their business. But at the end of the day, one thing I will say, niggas is living their best lives right now. Both of them niggas is rich. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't really got no feelings about it. I wasn't there. I wasn't in it. You know what I mean? I was in the penitentiary doing my own thing, fighting my own situation, I was fighting one of the biggest beasts in the world. You know what I'm saying? That system.
Not straight up.
Ain't nothing more important than that. You know what I'm saying? So
did you ever have a beef with Lavish D or CML at any point?
Man, like I said, at the end of the day, a lot of that shit be like miscommunication. Listen, bro. The word beef is thrown out there. Like, what beef? You see what I'm saying? Am I in the backyard thumping with a nigga or something? We at the clubhouse, like, there's no beef. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never no beef. And whatever it could have been or whatever niggas thought it was, nigga, I don't remember that shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, ain't nobody done nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't done nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. That's the thing with me. Like, it's like I'm an old school nigga. So before I start talking about shooting a nigga or something, nigga, we can fight. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm a project nigga. You had to fight to hang outside, nigga. Period. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, ain't no ifs, ands, buts around that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, walk in the yard in the penitentiary, nigga, we gotta fight, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something, right?
Yeah.
It's not about niggas dissing each other on the internet. It's not about these guys over here rapping about this. It's not about none of that. If there's a problem, if Juice, Chevelle Pope ever had an issue with anybody, it would have been something. There would have been something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Nigga, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, at the end of the day, the biggest beef I ever had, what I went through was against the system, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And that was real life shit, nigga. A motherfucker try to take mine, I handle my business. What the fuck is some rap shit about? I don't give a fuck about no rap shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nah, what beef? I ain't there ain't no nigga walking around that could say he had beef with me. Like, no rapper can just
Yeah.
say, like, oh, like I actually had beef. Now there may be individuals who might have didn't like something that I did, or they didn't like something that I did, so it made them like fall back on a nigga or something like that.
Yeah.
But nigga, I ain't never had no beef with no, like, nah. With who?
Is
And
that
and beef that I did have was street shit. And it's street shit
exactly?
is not, the street shit is not televised. And it don't got nothing to do with no rap niggas.
So that plays into right into my next question. A lot of times now in the new era of rap, especially in California, it's a lot of name dropping and like you can go find out who somebody beefing with just off names and what they saying or what
Mm,
gang they throwing down. Like
mm.
it wasn't. I don't know if it was like that back in the day. Like or was it? Like how you feel about that? Like
Well, um, you know, back in the days, like, I think I remember like Too Short and the Loonies. Like, remember that shit back in the days? They rapped against each other or something like that. Um, I know me and Mess did some shit, like uh against 50 Cent and some shit like that. But
yeah,
Big Von had to pull me to the side and let me know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't all what people making it seem. I think that when the Chicago shit came into the situation and how they was moving, it kind of just trickled down into like I guess niggas was thinking it's cool to like funk like that on the internet, you know what I'm saying, for likes and views. And um the mental health process part of it got motherfuckers numb to it because niggas is dying and motherfuckers is going to jail. You see what I'm saying? And they forgetting about that, right? You don't hear people talking about that. See, they only talking about it when, whatever's going on is going on. It's like, oh yeah, it's the thing to talk about. But when a motherfucker actually get knocked down or somebody actually end up going to prison for the rest of their life, then nigga, they on to the next shit. Like, that shit cornball shit to me. Um, I grew up and was laced around motherfuckers that didn't talk about it. I was around motherfuckers that'd be walking in the mall with a turtleneck on, nigga, in a bag holding a bitch hand with glasses on, looking like a straight square,
yeah,
but to really knock your motherfucking noodle. You see what I'm saying? Like, them is the type of niggas I know killers that still walking around because they don't run their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So this shit that's on the internet, like, and half of the niggas that's rapping about that shit, they ain't really the ones that's doing it. You see what I'm saying?
no,
So
straight
it's
up,
just like, it's like, because if you banging your iron, you ain't got time to do music. Especially if you trying to get on something. Nigga, you trying to figure it out. You trying to get with a bitch that work at the DMV. You trying to get that license plate information. You trying to get an address. You trying to get this shit out the way. Ain't nobody trying to run around playing with this shit when it come to knocking somebody down. Who trying to play?
Yeah.
We gonna rap and we gonna throw shots back and forth at each other. That shit is some different shit. When it's some real shit, a motherfucker trying to get that out the way and move on. Or we back and forth with it until, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is what it is. So what are we doing at the end of the day? And that's the problem. Niggas is too busy being yes man instead of pulling their homeboys to the side and holding them accountable and saying, bro, that's some other shit. Like, leave that shit alone. Like, we ain't on that. We trying to get to this bag. We trying to get to the highest height that we can get with this shit. We trying to do movies, and a lot of niggas is cutting off their opportunities because motherfuckers is hearing bad shit. They don't want to fuck with it. I don't want to deal with that. I'm not trying to deal with that. You know, or you getting blackballed, or the door is getting closed on you because one person, that's all it takes, is one person to be like, they ain't even got to hate on you. It just be somebody come through the door and be like, what's up with rapper such and such, you know? And a nigga be like, oh shit, you can fuck with it if you want to, but I don't fuck with that shit. And there it is, your opportunity
Exactly.
just got cut
got
off.
shut down.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't knock nobody for why they doing. Just make sure, if it is what you're doing, make sure that shit is standing on business and it got real principles behind it. If it can be some cold water put on some hot shit, then do that, nigga. Don't let your ego get in the way or your pride get in the way. Nigga, pick up the lines. Niggas got too many mutual friends. You see what I'm saying? Like, how you cool with this nigga, cool with that nigga, and both of these niggas is beefing with each other. Both of these niggas should be talking to you and somebody else to get them together to put the cold water on some hot shit. Now, if there's some bodies behind it, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I know niggas who don't try to kill each other no more that used to be trying to kill each other, and there was bodies behind it. So over time, niggas get older. What you gonna be, 60 years old, still talking about an op, nigga?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you running around with grays and shit,
Yeah,
you know, when your niggas got kids, you want a motherfucker to slide up on one of your kids and knock your kids down? The world is small. People find out shit. Are you really sitting in position to have security with your kids all day, every day? Do you think you that good to where a motherfucker can't find out where your babies is going to school at, shit like that? Like, I done been around some niggas that if they really want you, they really do the homework and they put the money behind getting on your ass. It ain't about, oh, we gonna funk over here in the hood. Nah, we gonna take that shit to where you living at. That's why you see people that was having beefs in Frisco and Oakland and Richmond, that shit start traveling to Antioch and Pittsburgh and nigga, all of these Half Moon Bay, places where niggas think they can just tuck their head and lay down and be cool and then come back to the city and do all of the drama and then go somewhere. But you got motherfuckers that get on the bridge and follow you and eat your ass up at a gas station or something. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So make sure, if that's what you want, make sure you own that and be on that. But if it ain't about that, put some cold water on that hot shit, man, and get to that bag and do what you do. That's all I can say, bro. Nah, you know, I hope I'm answering your questions, because I'm only giving it to you raw and uncut.
You is. I think honestly, I think the people need to hear this shit for real.
Yeah, because nobody's saying it. Niggas is trying to be cool with niggas kissing ass. Like, nigga, fuck that. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I got to do with that? Okay, so you on that? So what are we doing? Is me and you finna get in the car and we finna go air some shit out? What are we doing? Yeah. Are we rapping or are we killing? Yeah. Which one are we doing? Which one is it?
You gotta draw the line between it. Like,
which one is it? What are we doing? Because if you get into a beef with a nigga who really want to knock your ass down, you can't get mad at me because I ain't out here fighting your battles. Yeah. Nigga, get in the car with me and let's mass up and let's go get on this shit. You feel me? Or if we somewhere together and it go down, then nigga, we get into it right here and there. Don't be running and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know how shit can turn out when you putting that type of energy, you know what I'm saying, when you entertaining them type of demons, you don't know what could come back to you. And a lot of motherfuckers think because they got money or because they tucked away somewhere or because they moved out here or did this. It's a small world, bruh. And you never know who the fuck you'll run into at a Disneyland or somewhere where you just thinking you just with the family and it's cool and you ain't got no pistol with you and a motherfucker catch your ass lacking. You know what I'm saying? Then what? Then what?
Fucked.
You know what I'm saying? I done seen too many niggas die, bro. I done seen too many niggas die with guns on them. Thinking to themselves, nigga, I'm strapped. Nigga, if it go down like this, I'ma do this, I'ma do that. This ain't the movies. It don't work like that. You get your shit ate up. Motherfucker jump out. And motherfuckers got these switches now.
Yeah.
Now that's one thing that's different today that we didn't have back then. We might have had fullies, but we ain't had no switches.
Yeah.
That motherfucker hit you 60 times in one pull.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. This is what's going on. So I'm not finna be out here playing like that because I know how I can get mentally. I know where my anger will take me. And I'm not speaking like I'm a super tough nigga. I'm talking to individuals as far as self-preservation. You got the right to self-preserve your life. You got the right to do that. So if you threaten me and I'm fearful of my life and you running to me, I'm gonna do something to you. Because I'm thinking that you meant what you said. Exactly. You said you was gonna fuck me up when you see me. So if I see you, what are we doing?
Yeah, at that point, ain't no talking. We ain't got nothing to talk about.
What are we doing? And it doesn't always play out like that because I'm the type of nigga that move around. So you got a lot of niggas moving around now. You see what I'm saying? So it don't play out how cats think it play out. That's why you got niggas, you know, getting to that bag and niggas running around with 10 and 20 niggas. You a man, stand on your 10. If you talk that shit, be about what you about by yourself. Yeah. With your niggas or by yourself. But don't throw your niggas under the bus. Like, hold a motherfucker accountable. If I'm your homeboy and I know that this shit ain't that serious, I'm gonna pull you to the side. Nigga, challenge a nigga to mutual combat. You scared? Nigga, that's a law. That's an actual law. It's called mutual combat. The police can be there. You can actually challenge an individual to mutual combat and fight a nigga. You don't have to worry about nobody shooting you. And the police ain't gonna break it up. You niggas can thump. I mean, what do a motherfucker need for you niggas to fight? And is it that bad?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Is it that bad? Like, and then as you get older, motherfuckers start getting older and start relaxing, then you start having a change of heart. Then you start changing your mind. Then you start thinking a certain way. But you got individuals who still want to push the ignorant shit. But the cats who still want to push ignorant shit, your day gonna come. Your day gonna come. Somebody gonna catch you. They're gonna either beat your ass or somebody gonna knock you down. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's inevitable. It's the rules and regulations of the game. Ain't no getting around it. You entertaining that shit, that's what come with it. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate for me, I grew up in it. I know what the gangbanging shit is. I was the gang banger. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, nigga, the pimp, the hustler, the this, to that. No, nigga. Gangbanging is something that I'm very familiar with. And it's a totally different culture. It's a totally different mindset. And that's all what it's about. But if I gotta get on the internet to talk about a nigga, to incriminate myself just in case I might kill this nigga, then something's fucked up with you mentally. You see what I'm saying? Something's fucked up with you mentally because it shouldn't even be about that. You should never want to be saying nothing on the internet to incriminate yourself to make a motherfucker come after you. All of these niggas are starting to catch federal cases. You know what I'm saying? Like,
straight up.
This is what's going on. So are you really that motivated to still keep trying to talk about ops and talk about what you're going to do and talk about real cold cases? Because that shit is called a cold case now. So that means a murder, there's no statute of limitation on that shit when a nigga rapping about some shit. You fuck around and get too comfortable and say the wrong shit, they're gonna come knocking at your door. So it's whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? For cats who want to be on that, kudos to you if that's what you want. But I'm talking to the real young niggas. I'm trying to save the real young niggas, man. Get to that bag, man. Fuck all that petty shit. Do your music, man. Create good music. Build your fan base, you know, because we already got our generation. Larry June and them already got their generation. Now it's the next generation. Don't fall up under the guidelines of that bullshit. Fall up under the guidelines of having some real creativity so you can make some real money and see the world, man. That's what I want to see for you young niggas, man. I don't care who you beefing with. I don't care about none of that. That's not going to make me like you more or less. I want to hear some good music so I can really, because that's what it was like in the Bay. You know what I'm saying? And we lost that. You damn near can't even hear a nigga from the Bay playing somebody from the Bay music. You see what I'm saying? They playing everybody else. But how it used to be in the Bay, I don't give a fuck what set you was from or what city you was from. If your shit was knocking, everybody was playing that shit. Period. Yeah. Everybody. It didn't matter where you was from. If your shit was slapping, everybody was playing that shit. You don't get that no more. Cats, you got some young cats out there that's really raw and don't get no support because this nigga don't get along with this nigga. This nigga don't get along with this nigga. And I don't like him. And it ain't even no real issues like that. Yeah. Unless it's really bodies and beef, then I gotta respect it because I understand it. I know where to come from. But if it ain't that, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you really doing? Gazi gonna stop giving you niggas a chance. Atlantic gonna quit fucking with niggas. Warner gonna quit fucking with it. They're already saying it that they finished shut down the Capitol because too many niggas is dying and everybody's starting to sound the same. Now they want to go sign people in Africa and overseas and say fuck the United States. They want to take their money over there. Cause them niggas over there getting money in their country and they got their whole, they representing countries. You feel me? Yeah, straight up. They out there, they doing what they doing. And we are losing what we are a part of creating. The independent hustle for the Bay with music was the biggest shit that we ever had to hold on to. New York niggas was envying us for that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? LA niggas caught on to that independent hustle from the Bay. Now that shit don't even really exist no more because nobody's working with each other. Nobody's getting along. Nobody's showing unification. And then when you got cats that get on the internet and say, hey, let's all come together. Let's have a summit or something and bring all the rappers out. You still got niggas going, well, no, nigga, let's bring everybody out. Give everybody a chance to clear the air. Give everybody a way out. You know what I'm saying? Let everybody come. Don't just pick certain niggas. Oh, well, he got money, so he can sit. No, nigga, everybody come. Let's clear the air and let's get back to being what we was and get our people to support their own people. Because other than that, you niggas is wasting y'all time in the studio. And nobody's being fooled by the jewelry and the shit because we know that you niggas ain't getting that shit from rap money. We know. You see what I'm saying? So nobody's, come on, nigga, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. You see what I'm saying? If it's going to be, if we're going to keep it 100, let's keep it 100. Yeah. Nigga, you out here hustling, buying all this jewelry, doing videos, making it seem like, nigga, you eating off of rap money. But you not. You see what I'm saying? And then niggas is going to jail for credit card fraud. Do I got to say names? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. We see what's going on. So it's like, nigga, stop capping and get back to working with. You don't gotta work with me. I'm an OG. I'm looking for artists to put on. I still got a lot of relationships, so I don't have to be in California. I can move around. You see what I'm saying? And do what I need to do. But if you somebody from my backyard and you raw, you can move around with me. You see what I'm saying? But don't come around me on that bullshit. I just got out the penitentiary. Nigga, they gave me 20-something years. Yeah. I gave them motherfuckers 14 back. Nigga, that shit for the birds. That shit ain't like it used to be back in the 80s. Nigga, like it's an achievement award. Nigga, go to the pen and you get swole and come out and nigga, you get praised. Nah, man, that shit is for the pen. And ain't no bitches trying to be with no nigga that's a jailbird. You see what I'm saying? And the bitches is already doing better than the niggas today.
Yeah,
You feel me?
straight up.
So what you gonna do? End up in jail trying to end up talking to some bitch that's dying, starving for attention? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you settling for less? Because what? Because of the situation that you in? It's a plenty of rich niggas in the penitentiary that'll let you take their place to be broke on the streets. You can have my money, you can have my fame, you can have this motherfucker sell in this bunk and everything that come with it. And I'll be on the streets broke. Cats got to start having these type of conversations and understanding what's going on, because we all been subjected to being victims of the violent shit that go on in our hood. And I tell you, I understand y'all. I get it. I understand sometimes it's like a car accident that's just waiting to happen. I get it. I come from it. But if you can bob and weave that shit, if you can make a left when you don't got to go right, then do it.
Straight up.
That's all I got to say.
What was your relationship with the Jacka?
That was my bruh. Them was my bros. Them Sebo went to jail. And I ended up inheriting them. You know what I'm saying? They was around me when they was kids. They was all like 16, 17 years old. We put the Mob Figaz first album out. Yeah. That came out on Get Paid Records. Sebo made the deal with Mike. And from there, I used to pick them up. I used to be all in the El Pueblo projects, picking up Jacka and Hustler and Ryder and out there fucking with the twins and all of them. Like, yeah, man, they was in Hunters Point. The Mob Figaz birthed out of Hunters Point. I know they all from different places, but as far as they music career, they birthed out of Hunters Point, right there on Bishop Corner, right there on Bishop Block. Everybody know that. You can't mention the Mob Figaz without mentioning Hunters Point. Now you got a lot of people who got new relationships with them, and that's okay. I understand that, but y'all wasn't there in the beginning. Y'all wasn't there when the album who made them what they are today, when how that shit transpired and kicked out. Get Paid. Kim Collette and them and Shadow and everybody from AWOL, they came to work for Get Paid. T was on the run, he went to jail. Sebo was fighting that shit against Governor Pete Wilson. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, they was heavy on him. And he made the deal with Mike. And then I picked up the slack. And I picked up the homies, was taking them to the studio, you know, all the shit, because me and Mike owned the label together. Get Paid was our label. I'm still pushing Get Paid. You see what I'm saying? So my relationship with them was my brothers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Them was my little brothers. I got plenty of footage and all that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Of them when they was kids. Not when they grown men, like a lot of cats is, you know, putting pictures on the internet. And I'm not taking nothing from that. Like, they are some of the dopest individuals to ever have a relationship with. Hustler, Ryder, FedEx, the Jacka, AP9. You know what I'm saying? Like, they dope. But I was there with them in the beginning of who they became and when they became that. After Sebo went and got with them or whatever, that was where my situation came in with them. And we built from there, and we all been good ever since. Them as my brothers, and we always will be good. And Jacka is truly and deeply missed. I'm blessed to have been able to get that Boozers with Fullies out the way, because that was on his bucket list. Yeah. So he was real excited about that. He was like, I finally get a Boozers with Fullies. He was like, I was waiting till I got big enough, nigga, because, you know, the Boozers with Fullies always pick people. Like, I did the Giants and Elephants, but that wasn't a Boozers with Fullies. That was a Giants and Elephant. Boozers with Fullies is something different. You know what I mean? And so we finally did that, and then little bro got you know what happened. Yeah. Sad situation, man. It hurt, but at the end of the day, I love my memories, and that shit is priceless. Money couldn't pay for the things that they used to do, like how they used to just come out to the city and, you know, just be out there on Bishop and Hunters Point. It's crazy, man. In the car, freestyling. Them dudes could freestyle like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, just raw. And I know if Jacka was still here today, he'd be one of the biggest niggas in the game right now.
Not
You
for
know what I
sure.
mean? Yeah, for sure. He'd
For
be one of the
sure.
biggest niggas in the game right now. Huge. But my relationship with them was family. It still is. It still is family. You
Yeah.
know, forgive me for using the word was. Past tense because Jacka gone. And of course, everybody is older and everybody doing different things, but we still have a lot of mutual relationships, and we have nothing but good shit to say about each other. And if you
Yeah.
ask any one of them, they'll tell you facts. Juice
Yeah.
telling the truth. You see what I'm saying?
Do you have a relationship with JT the Bigga Figga?
Yeah, that's my childhood friend.
Got you. He is another person who has, a lot of opinions on him on both sides of the spectrum. Like,
I don't really, you know, Fig is a Scorpio like me. So, he been through a lot of shit. And so, like I say, I wasn't the fly on the wall with a lot of shit that Fig got going on. Even with Mess. Mess was part of some shit that Fig, you know, he'll go in on Mess. But then, at the end of the day, that good in him, that Muslim in him, he'll be like, man, I hope Mess turn out all right. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but Fig is a good motherfucker because let me tell you something, man. Fig has experienced levels of this shit that a lot of niggas dream about experiencing. And he gave me a lot of game. I did my first movie with Fig. You know what I'm saying? I'm the nigga that jumped Fig and be wearing those and shot Mac Mall. I'm the one who came around the wall and shot Mac
yeah,
Mall. You know what I'm saying? And that was funny because Mac Mall was like, Juice, I ain't trying to be like Brandon Roy. And I opened the gun and I showed him, ain't no bullets in here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I went and shot my movie. But Thug Money,
yeah,
we put a big budget behind that. And we still trying to iron some things out to get that thing out. But a lot of people went to the feds and a lot of shit was going on in the community, and a lot of people that was in my movie are dead. You know what I'm saying? So, I really want to get Thug Money out so that the homies that then pass away, their kids can see their fathers immortalized, or their
yeah,
uncles, or their brothers can see them immortalized, and keep that, man. So as far as Fig, when he be talking his shit, you know, that's Fig. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I can't say why he talking this shit or why he feel how he feel, and nor do I try to call him and question him about whatever it is he talking about.
yeah,
I don't do none of my bros in the game like that. None of them. I don't question what they talking about, or why they talking about what they talking about. I just hope at the end of the day they can resolve it and get like for instance, when he was going in on Gold Toes. You see what I'm saying? You know who Gold Toes is, right?
for sure.
Right, right. So
He
when
digital.
he was going in on Gold Toes, both of them my bros. You know what I mean? So they ended up figuring it out, right? Like two men. They talked and ironed it out.
Yeah,
Nobody had to get in the middle of it. That's what niggas gotta do. Okay, yeah, I went on a rant, I talked some shit, but is it that bad that we can't get back? Even if we don't, okay, nigga, we don't gotta hang with each other. We ain't gotta be best friends no more. You know what I'm saying? But we can get past this shit to where if I run into you in public or something, or if I'm sitting down at a restaurant or something, I ain't got to look over my back and you ain't got to look over yours. Nigga, I don't mean you no harm
yeah,
at all. And it was just words, my nigga. And okay, it was a misunderstanding. My bad. Move on. Don't
yeah,
get that shit no more than 10 seconds in your mind. It's over.
yeah.
We on to the next. That's how I gotta be.
Nah, I got you on that. The time is wrapping up on this next one. I just wanted to get your final thoughts on like what's something that you know now that you wish you would have known back then. It could be music related, streets related, anything.
Uh I wish I would have listened to Ghazi when he told me they wasn't gonna be listening to CDs no more. But yeah, man, being more business oriented, um, understanding that you can't do this shit by yourself. You need a team, you know, um, make investments, save your money, um, make you get you, have you some type of retirement plan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? When you walk away from this shit, uh, put insurance on your jewelry, you
yeah,
know, put insurance on your shit. Don't lose your life over that shit. A motherfucker rob you, give it to him. Let them have that shit. Make sure you got a relationship with your jeweler. They'll run the price up on that shit.
yeah.
You get some money back, they'll get some money and you get you
Everybody
some more
happy.
jewelry. Yeah, how you, just really, really taking care of yourself, invest into yourself like, like a job would invest into a situation. If you work in a 9 to 5, they're gonna make sure you got your benefits, your social security is right, your 401k is right. You got your good insurance plan. A lot of you rappers need to start getting insurance plan, man. So that way you ain't got to be doing no GoFundMe accounts when you walk up out of here. Because one thing for sure is we all headed in the same direction, and that is we're gonna be looking up at the church ceiling at some point. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the best advice that I can give them to them, wrapping it up. Go check out the new album, My Motivation, with me and June on the beat.
Out everywhere right
Slapping,
now.
like literally, it's slapping from front to back. You can really enjoy just some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no rubbing it in your face type music like I got this, look at me type shit. This is more like, I'm out there on the block, going through this shit with you type
Yeah,
shit. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying mob motivated, not to be motivated to just knock nothing down, but to be motivated to take care of yourself, man. Eat right, be healthy, work out, stack your chips, invest. You know what I'm saying? Get your shit together, pay your taxes, have your bank account. Um, uh, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You need about 7 different hustles of income coming in. Uh, and like the late great Mac Dre would say, talk a cat off a fish wagon and sell him ice at a Eskimo ice at a high price and get him twice. Be nothing nice. You feel me? Rest in peace, man, to the late
rest
Mac
in
Dre,
peace for
man.
sure.
Yeah, man. I want to see y'all win. If it's one OG cat in this game, that's been doing this shit for a long time, uh, and still able to do it, um, I want to see y'all win, man. So eliminate the bullshit if you can. Put some cold water on that hot shit if you can. Communicate if you can, because oftentimes it's like sitting in a cell in the penitentiary, not knowing what the fuck is going on because you ain't talked to nobody, and man, be the best that you can be, achieve, and reach back. When you get to the top, put somebody else on, man. Don't be like these other niggas get to the top and get new friends and forget about the niggas that was there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Now I know everybody that you start with ain't gonna end with you, but if you can reach back, and it ain't all about rap. Give a nigga a job, make a nigga roles manager. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Make a nigga promoter. Open the door for somebody else, man. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's where my heart is at with it. And again, man, I appreciate you. It's a blessing. Um, I'm glad you interviewed me. Um, yeah, man, this was a good interview, man. And we're gonna keep this shit going, man. We're gonna keep it. Peace and blessings to you and your family as well, my nigga.
Peace and blessings to you as well. I appreciate you for letting me do the interview. I think the fans they definitely gonna want a part two. So at some point in time, we're gonna have to get back together and get a part two done for sure.
Yeah, man. We could definitely get back and forth with it, man. And just, if you feel like you want to, get on some shit and just, talk about, you know, what the perspective is of certain different things and just, like I would love to build that relationship with you as far as just you know, like how Lil Boosie got with Vlad. You know
Nah,
what I'm
for sure,
saying?
for sure, for sure.
Because I'm gonna always keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not kissing no ass to be accepted. I'm a real nigga. I stood on my 10 and nobody handed me shit. Like I made a wave, you know, with people who supported me. But you know, we you know, I had to elbow my way through this shit. I had to kick in some doors, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that's sometimes that's just how we gotta be. Don't feel like you blackballed because these gatekeepers and these naysayers, they ain't acknowledging you like the way that they should, you know, put that shit in their face to where they ain't got no choice but to acknowledge you. You know what I'm saying? Because your shit slapping so hard and everybody playing it. And when they do get on your line, you ain't gotta be on no I told you so. Just
Yeah.
just do business with them and keep it about business and keep growing. You know what I'm saying? Keep growing. Get off of that emotional shit. You know, emotions control men and cause you to, you know, fumble in areas that we shouldn't be fumbling because you're working with emotions. Be more about your thought process. Ponder your path before you just choose to. You know how you get that feeling? Like if I tell you something, like you got kids, right? You got
Nah,
kids?
not
Okay,
yet,
you ain't got no
not yet.
kids. Okay, so you know, and I'm just asking you these questions, and I mean no disrespect in no way. Are your parents still alive?
Yeah,
All right. So if a motherfucker did something to your mama, what would you do?
I'm trying to find them for sure,
Did you feel that feeling when I said that?
for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That energy and that feeling, that shit is something that's already, it's an innate thing. It's already in us. Ponder your path before you react. You see what I'm saying? And then you'll find yourself in better situations, man. You know? And yeah, man, that's what's up.
man. You already know you locked in with the innovators, man. We got Juice in the building, Hunters Point, San Francisco, Bay Area.
Look,
You already know.
you
I
was for the penthouse, man.
you already know. You see, he got the amazing setup over there. Dope interview on the way. I appreciate you letting me get it done for sure.
For sure, man. Salute, man. Peace.
You're locked in with the innovators. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell.